The wind on Kalasar 9 carried ash in whispers, echoes of the war that had ended only days before. The skies were a bruised gray, the cities hollowed-out skeletons of glass and steel. Humanity had won. At least, that's what the report said. But to Commander Rian Vale, standing knee-deep in the ruins of what used to be a Varelian temple, victory felt like a graveyard. His orders were simple: clean up operations, terminate remaining hostiles, secure relics. He had done worse things during the war, things that carved scars on his conscience so deep that not even time could heal them. He told himself it was all for peace, for humanity, until he found her. Milky Way the beginning, the enemy who breathed. She was barely conscious, slumped against the crumbling altar of the temple, her body bathed in faint blue light. Her skin shimmered like liquid glass, her veins glowing faintly beneath the surface. A Varelian, one of the last. Rian froze, his rifle half-raised. She looked up at him through half-lidded eyes, and for a moment he forgot to breathe. "Do it," she whispered weakly, her voice soft and melodic, like a dying song. "Please, just make it quick." He should have pulled the trigger. That was what the regulations demanded. The Varelians had caused the deaths of millions. They were beautiful, yes, but deadly. Every soldier on the front line knew that one hesitation could cost you your life. But in her voice, there was something Rian hadn't heard in years. Fear. Not the cold, calculated fear of soldiers on the verge of death, but something human. He lowered the rifle. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. Her eyes flickered with surprise. "You care to know the name of an enemy?" "Right now, I don't see an enemy," Rian said softly. "I see someone dying." After a moment, she whispered, "Lyra." High voltage sign the middle, breaking protocol. Rian carried Lyra to the remains of his outpost bunker. The scanners blared warnings of biocontamination, but he overrode them. He sealed the door, set her down on the medic table, and activated his limited field kit. Her physiology was alien, blood like liquid light, organs that pulsed to an unfamiliar rhythm. But her pulse was steady. And strangely, her touch wasn't cold. As he worked, she watched him through the haze of pain. "Why are you helping me?" He paused. "Because you asked me to make it quick," he said quietly. "But I think you deserve more than that." A faint smile curved her lips. "You're going to get yourself executed." He smirked. "Wouldn't be the first time I broke a rule." Days passed in the silence of the bunker. Outside, the last human patrols combed the ruins, searching for survivors, or traitors. Rian knew the moment they scanned this bunker, he'd be done. But each day, as Lyra's strength returned, something strange grew between them. It wasn't just gratitude. It wasn't pity. It was a connection that defied every law of their worlds. She told him stories of her people, how the Varelians once shaped stars, weaving solar winds into light bridges across galaxies. "We believed love was an energy, not an emotion," she told him one night as they sat beneath the cracked dome of the outpost, the shattered sky visible above. "An energy never dies." He looked at her, studying the way her faint glow illuminated the darkness. "Humans believe the same thing," he murmured. "We just forget." She turned to him, eyes shining softly. "Then maybe you were never as different from us as you thought." That night, he dreamed of light and warmth and her hand in his. Dizzy, the turning point, the signal. On the 7th day, the outpost alarm screamed. "Human fleet inbound," Lyra said, her voice urgent. "They are scanning for life signatures." Rian cursed, rushing to the console. "I can mask you, but I can't mask your energy output. It's too bright." "Then leave me," she said quickly, standing weakly. "You did enough. If they find me here, they'll execute you." "I don't care," he snapped. "I'm not letting them take you." She placed a trembling hand on his arm. Rian, please. You've done more than anyone ever would. Don't throw your life away. He grabbed her hand. You don't get it, Lyra. I can't lose another life that matters. His voice cracked. Not again. Something in his eyes broke her. The fear, the grief, so human, yet so familiar. You lost someone, she whispered. He nodded slowly. My brother. The first day of the war. I promised I'd end this. I thought killing your kind would do that. But now I see, it only made me forget what I was fighting for. Her eyes softened, and she reached up, touching his face. Then remember, Rian. Remember this moment. He leaned closer, hesitant, unsure, until her forehead rested against his. For a moment, there were no humans, no aliens, no war. Just two souls, broken but alive, finding peace in the chaos. Then the console beeped again. The fleet was landing. Cross-sword hashed the choice, shattering the rules. The door exploded inward. Human soldiers storming the bunker, rifles raised. Commander Vale, one shouted. Step away from the hostile. Rian stepped between Lyra and the guns. She's unarmed. She's not a threat. She's a Varelian, the sergeant barked. By decree, she dies where she stands. Rian's pulse hammered. Lyra's eyes met his, calm, resolute. She whispered, barely audible, Please, just make it quick. And that was the moment, the one that shattered everything inside him. He turned his weapon, not at her, but at his own squad. Stand down, he said, voice like steel. The sergeant hesitated. Vale, don't do this. Rian fired a warning shot at the ground. I said stand down. The soldiers froze. In that brief, fragile silence, Lyra reached out and took his hand. Her skin pulsed with light, wrapping around him like warmth made tangible. You'll die for this, she whispered. Maybe, he said, eyes locked on hers. But if dying means you live, then it's worth it. Her glow brightened, brighter than ever. She pressed her palm against his chest. Then we die together, or we live as one. There was a blinding flash. The soldiers shielded their eyes as the light filled the entire bunker. When it faded, both Rian and Lyra were gone. Nothing left but the faint hum of energy in the air. Shooting star the ending, the echo of two hearts. Weeks later, command reports listed Commander Rian Vale, MIA. No trace found. No remains. But on distant satellites orbiting Calisar 9, strange readings began to appear, a pulsing light pattern, rhythmic, almost alive. Scientists called it a signal anomaly in the language of the Varelians. However, the translation was simple. We are one. Far beyond the reach of war or duty, in a realm of starlight and infinite calm, Rian and Lyra's consciousness drifted together. Two energies fused into one. No pain, no separation, no rules left to shatter. Just light, just love, forever.